Hey, Clippity Clop, how are you going? Clippity Clop. You're good? That's good. I'm also good. Just bouncing between a few dolls. So I'm just going to get all the bodies prepared for felting so far. And then I might do a bit of sewing on the Flying Fox. Thanks for the like. I'm just putting some pipe cleaners around the armature, so when I use the polyfill to felt the body, it has something to sort of cling to. Sometimes it can be a bit slippery on the armature. You love the, oh, thank you. Yeah, got a few going on at the moment. Is that a rhino? This one's going to be a baby Asian elephant. So it looks a bit weird at the moment, but so there's the elephant face basically, and the trunk's going to be posable, and the ears are also going to be posable. So I've got little holes there where I'm going to basically fashion up some ears. So I need to create the ears basically, and they're just going to sit in the hole, sort of like that. And so it'll be slightly posable too. So yeah, that'll be sort of the inside structure of the ears. So I'm going to do the ears the same sort of way as I do the bat wings. So yeah. Yes, it's going to be a baby Asian elephant. So it looks a bit weird because I had to sculpt it, obviously without certain features. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to paint it. Once the ears on, I'm going to paint it, and then sort of attach the trunk. This is the fabric that I'm going to use. So it's really similar, but I'll attach the trunk to this, like so, and then it'll sort of be posable. So you get the idea of what it will look like, basically. Madam Tiptoes is still looking for a home. Yeah. All right, so that's ready for felting. So I've got Madam Tiptoe's daughter as well. In the making. So that's it. He's looking at you again. It's just full of crap. Full of poop. It's so cute. Oh, thank you all. All right, so this one, is another medieval cat. This one is, I'm going to wait to do the reveal of the name, I think. But we've got the basic structure for that one. It looks like Beerus from Dragon Ball. I forgot which one it is. Okay, so I'm going to put around some pipe cleaners. Probably start some felting on this, or I don't know whether to do some sewing or not. I don't know. I'll just get all these ready though. This one's going to be like a really light blue with, I want to do like some tabby markings on it in like a light blue. I think that'll look cute. Oh, well, there's no point asking me. I'll tell you what. think you'd know the answer to that. Is it a real cat? I mean, it's pretty stiff real cat. No, it's a doll. I do offer payment plans if that helps your decision. But there's no point asking me for advice. I'll tell you to buy Madame Tippy Toes. I'll tell you to buy both. Why not both? What about a guitar for Madame Tippy Toes? Okay. That's a cute looking cat. Two-legged creatures are always fiddly to stand, but she does stand. She does stand. What's next? Got this one here. So basically the point of the pipe cleaners is I use polyfill to needle felt like a form, like a plush form, muscle tone basically, with your polyfill is like a cushion stuffing. You and your brother shared 2 guitars and you yeah, right. Yeah, so the pipe cleaners just act as like something for the polyfill to stick to. So it makes it a bit easier to needle felt. Yeah, I make fake taxidermy pieces. So in the process of making another bunch. I finished sculpting my leopard gecko, so I just need to do the feet for it. But I'll do that. I'll try and do that during the week because sculpting feet is boring. And I'm probably going to do it out of Cos clay as well. Yeah, I've made heaps of raccoons. I actually did a raccoon for not last year's Halloween before, I think it was. And I did like the raccoon had like the tongue poking out. And then I made like a crappy ghost outfit for it. So I just like cut out some things for where the tongue and the snout fits out of the pillowcase. So it was really cute. It's one of my favorite raccoons. But yeah, I've done like heaps of fantasy ones. I've done heaps of realistic ones. Here to lurk tonight. You have to get up in 5 hours for work. Oh. Well, if it's any consolation, I have to work tomorrow, so. But yeah, I'm thinking of maybe another raccoon very soon. I don't mind the raccoons. But yeah, it was really cute face with the tongue sticking out. And it sold really quickly. And he had like a little jack-o'-lantern trick-or-treat basket. It was really cute. But yeah, don't mind a raccoon. I actually don't have all that much of the faux fur that I use for it left because I use the same for this flying fox. And I have like the tiniest amount left. Okay, so that's a big stag. This one's going to be the crystal stag. So it's going to be like a regular brown sort of body, but the neck is going to be white. And then I'm going to cast up some like little resin crystal pieces and stick it sort of around the body. But yeah, this will be the crystal stag. Very big doll. And then we've got Shiranui from, I don't know if people are familiar with the game Okami. You should make a rat with it. I've made heaps of rats before, so I'll note it. This one's from the game This is like a little personal collection one. Yeah, but if you've ever played the game Okami, this is Shiranui. I haven't ever seen a Shiranui Artdoll before, so yeah, I thought I'd make it. So it's quite a big doll, this one, unintentionally big, but here we are. So this armature is my medium-sized armature as well. Thanks for following. So this is 1/4 scale. I also have an armature this size, which is 1/8. So you can see the sort of difference with that one. Did I do? No, not yet. It's going to be in the next batch. So I'll do the next batch, the 3 action cats, spewing, licking, and sneezing, along with a couple of other dolls. What's wrong with my cat? Yes, I'll do those 3, and I'm thinking I'll have to do some Halloween dolls, I reckon. So maybe I'm going to do another bat, this one, for the Halloween lot. So that one will be up for grabs with like a Halloween series. I'm thinking of doing a Cerberus. I've never made a Cerberus before, so I'm just sort of trying to think of what type of dog face I want them to have. Thanks for all the likes. And yeah, that's going to be an interesting doll. I haven't made a Cerberus before. And where else? Maybe like a small bat. I've got like this wooden coffin thing that I wanted to decorate and put a bat inside of it. But maybe I could do like a vampire cat bat, something like that. Something weird. All right. This is such a big doggy. Yes, I will. So I'm in the process of making the mirror reflector. So that's sort of the base. So it'll sit, it'll sit sort of like that. I was going to put a magnet on it, but I know it sits up a little higher. So I'm just sort of trying to, I might just like stick a pole or something with the magnet at the end. Might be too heavy. I don't know. But yeah, so that'll be where the reflector sits. So I'm going to add, got this color. I need to kind of custom mix it. So I've got this Fimo, which is very similar, but I think I'm going to just add a little more red to get like that custom color. So this bit's baked. But yeah, so. And then I'm going to, for the fire, I have to do a little bit of experimenting. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like a little transparent pole. But yeah, I just have to think about the logistics of that. For the fire, what I'm thinking is I might actually make a mold. So I might sculpt it out of monster clay and make a mold of it and then cast it in like a clear resin because I want that transparency. So I'm actually going to try, I don't know if you're in Australia, but I'm actually going to try Kmart resin stuff, see how that goes. So I've got some resin dyes for it. So really I need probably these 3 colors. The green, it should be okay because this is like a very teal green. So I'll have to experiment with it. So yeah. But yeah, just like all the logistics of it. But I think it'd be a really cool doll because it's I really like the face so far. Obviously, I can see it's got my style to it as well. But I think once all the markings are on, they'll all come together. And for like the little floating things, little floating things, I'm thinking I might use moldable plastic because it's kind of semi-clear. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how I want to do that because I do also would like if they were posable, but I think that's that and above. that sort of transparent white, like opaque white. I don't think it exists that's posable. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that's my big plan for Shiranui. But yeah, it's one of my favorite games, so I definitely would like to do something. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. Let's go back here. Yeah, I've been wanting to do it for a long time. Maybe I'll make Amaterasu one day. This part here, this is a ball and socket armature, so it's posable. This is a smaller version, so it's posable. So they can be posed in, a lot of different poses, which is great. So yeah. Oh really? What's wrong with Madame Tippy Toes? I do like her too. All right. Yes, it's well, yeah, this is going to be Shiranui from Okami. Yes, it is going to be an elephant. I will show you. So it looks a bit weird at the moment, but this is going to be a baby Asian elephant with obviously the posable trunk, and I'm going to do some posable ears on it too. So I've sculpted a very weird head without everything. So I'm going to attach the fabric to that so it's posable, but all that needs to be needle felted, and then I'm going to do the tail a little bit separately as well with a piece of wire, just because it's too thin for the armature. So yeah, it's going to be a baby. I need to paint all this. But I'll attach the ears before I paint it. Yeah. Alright, so we've got our flying fox. So this is our flying fox so far. So it needs to be sewn up, basically. Thank you for the follow. So yeah, I pinned all this together yesterday. I don't. It's going to take a long time to sew, so I'm wondering if I should just, do some different work today, or like maybe I could sew a tiny bit and then move on to something else. Yes, I did want to sculpt that. But yeah, I found some really good reference images, so I did want to sculpt him. You have to, right? It's part of it. Okay. How long does it take for completion? So they vary between 20 and 30 hours, sometimes more, sometimes less, just depending on complexity. A really basic one, usually it's 20, 25 hours. But if I do something like a reptile, they take a little bit longer just because I do all the scales individually. So it's a bit more fiddly. And sometimes I do things with movable jaws. So this could be an example. It's not going to be a movable jaw, but it's an example of a Japanese dragon that I'm doing. Yeah, I've done heaps of dragons before. This one's going to be, I haven't done a Japanese one. So this is going to be a Japanese dragon. So because the mouth's open, I sort of sculpt it separately, and then I'm going to add the rest of the head onto it. So this is all nice and baked. It's not completely finished because I haven't done any of the work on here. But yeah, so that's sort of kind of got to bake it in stages, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I've done heaps of dragons before. I'm going to be doing Sea Smoke from House of the Dragon as well. So I did a really big Drogon a number of years ago now. It's really big. And yeah, I want to do a smaller version of Sea Smoke, because who doesn't like Sea Smoke? But yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty big task in itself, that one. I don't know if you guys can see my sewing. You paint dragons like resin sculptures? Did I kill my cat? Maybe. It's a pretty tiny kitty though. No, it's an art doll. Fakeodermy. No, it's all fake. It's a little bit smaller than a cat. It's a bit smaller. It's all fake fur and polymer clay. But this one's a pooping one. Yeah. Anyway. So it'd be fun to sculpt the next lot of cats, I think. Oops. I think I'm going to write down that might do a vampire cat bat for... Let me write it down. I've got like a list. I can find my pen. Let's write down. Vampire cat bat. Vampire cat bat. That's going to be. Those little. Oh, right. Yeah, oh, I get it. I love how you made a bucket. That's it. You got to. I tried really hard to do the pucker, so I like angled the. I angled the whiskers sort of to face forward as well. It's all about those extra details. I did also make some prop poop. Whoa. Because you can't forget the prop poop. So you can pose it in all sorts of ways, in all sorts of fashion, you know. The idea is like, you know, you pose it doing a poop with poop. You could even make a litter box for it. Anyway, that's my idea of a sick joke. Thanks for the share. That is my idea of a sick joke. Well, the idea sort of came from I made a bunch of medieval cats and I put a butthole in one, and then people got really upset about it. So I thought, all right, I'll make a pooping cat. Also with butthole. Also with the butt. So that's my story. That's my origin story. Welcome if you're here for the first time. All right, I think I'll just do like a little bit of sewing on this one because sewing's not my favorite thing to do, and these flying foxes are quite sewing intensive. So yeah, because I've got to sew sort of this side onto the wing and this side on the wing, and then the same for the other side. So yeah, I'll do a tiny bit of sewing, and then maybe I'll do a little bit of needle felting for some of my dolls. Something like that. So I'm using a ladder stitch for the sewing along this flying fox, and I'm using a upholstery thread. So this one's sort of almost 3 times as thick as my regular thread that I use, just because I need a lot of tension when I'm sewing these onto the wing fabric, just so, you know, it closes the seam properly. So we get to this point where the wing sort of meets, the wing sort of starts at the end of this rust coloured piece. So I sort of need to make sure that I'm integrating it right. and sort of just got to pick out the pile as I'm going, because the stitch sort of flattens it a little bit sometimes, gets caught up in the stitch. All right, sorry. Do one more stitch, and then I'll start integrating that wing. No problem, Clippity Clop. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. So the thing that these wings are also posable, so you can sort of close them up a little bit so they're not in the way. I want to keep this one sort of as straight as possible here, so I can make sure I've got the wings in a good spot. And I will fill this with polyfill as well, and then I'll glue this rust coloured part to the head. So basically, I'm going to try and integrate this now. One of every animal. Gee, I think I'd be dead by the time I get around to them all. I've made a lot. Do we call the display Noah's Ark? Bad joke. Okay, so I've pinned this little piece here, which is kind of the arm piece. So I've got my pin. And then we're going to sort of follow where this arm piece sits. Now, I know my hands would be. They get fried after one of these dolls. And like a couple of years ago, I decided to make 6 in a row at the same time. So I don't know why. I just did. I made different colours, obviously, but yeah, I made 6 of them in a row and my fingers were fried. It's too much sewing, so I'm like one at a time now. It's like bats and dragons are a lot of work because of the wings, just the way you've got to attach it. Yeah, you know, the amount of sewing that needs to be done. So generally I get, you know, there's material band-aids. So I cut like a little section off the material and place it here because that's sort of where I get the blisters all the time. And that sort of stops it. I'm not a fan of thimbles because I can't feel where I'm sewing. So I can still feel through that, through the band-aid. I tried a couple of different types of thimbles, but I just wasn't a fan of it. So there we go. Thank you for the follow. Stank eye. Give me this stank eye. I'll be making an angry cat soon. I'm thinking of making like an orange Garfield, essentially. Do I make a lasagna to go with it? A miniature lasagna to go with it. Ow. Like a realistic Garfield. Thanks. He's a poopy cat. That'll be cool. Yeah, I think so too. Like a grumpy orange cat. This one was meant to be orange. Like people asked, it should be orange, but I was like, oh, I'm not feeling orange vibes. What am I making? I'm doing a grey-headed flying fox. So just doing a bit of sewing on the wings. But yeah, so I'm sewing all the faux fur onto it. It looks super crispy, this one. Now that I spin it around. But yeah, so this is going to a bat rescue. For their, I think they use a frilled shark. I've thought about sharks before, but I've always sort of gotten stuck on what material to use for their skin, because I'd want something that's kind of rough, like textured. You'd want something that's like sandpaper. You could, no, like if there's any like glitter fabric, and then you could just paint over the glitter, maybe. You need like a rough texture, I think. So just tie this. So I've sort of got to be mindful where I'm putting this stitch, because if I go too far out, you'll see it on the other side. So I'm trying to be mindful of doing really small stitches and, yeah, trying to keep it hidden. Yeah, I just don't know where I'd find fabric like that. But that's exactly what I'd want to make a shark. Like, it'd be cool to make, you know, like a great white shark with a movable jaw. That would be pretty cool. I've neglected a lot of marine animals over the years and reptiles. So I'm making a lot of reptiles this year. But how much do your fake taxidermies? The one like this size. So this one's $5.50 US, but I do offer payment plans too, just to make it a bit easier. But yeah, they can range anywhere from like $4.80 to $6.80, just depending on the complexity of it, you know, how time consuming it's going to be, how big it is, all that sort of thing. The materials. AUD, it's about $8.20, something like that. Most of my customers are in US, which is annoying at the moment, because they've put a stop on shipping at the moment to the US. So most of my customers are from the States. So I was having to explain currencies every time someone would message me. So I was just easier to put it in US. But yeah, it's about like 8 something. So they're not the cheapest things in the world, but they are very expensive to make and very time consuming to make. Yeah, I've been doing this for about 13 years now. And yeah, I used to do a lot of resin casting, so they were a bit cheaper, but I don't really do that anymore because I found that I wasn't sculpting enough, and I like the sculpting part. I'm a sculptor, so yeah. Plus I like, you know, being able to do different expressions and stuff too. So they're really, you know, one of a kind expressions these days. Okay. Looking good. So basically sewn all around here, and then I'll go down here. I don't have enough thread to go all the way down, so I'll just use the rest of this thread, and then maybe I'll start needle felting some things. What do we reckon? Try and do like a lot of sewing as I can off camera because it's so boring. It's so boring. maybe we'll do, I don't know, should I do the medieval cat, elephant? Yeah. All right, so probably I have to limit to this thread here before I need to tie it off. I'll try and do as much sewing during the week because this doll is not far off finishing. All I really need to do is a little bit of fur on the head. That's pretty much it, really. All right. So I'm sort of starting to get the idea of it. That will glue to the head there. Obviously it won't be so flat once I add some stuffing into it. But yeah. All right, let's do a little bit on Shiranui, maybe. Such a big doll. I didn't mean for it to happen. These away. All right. So this is the stuffing that I use. It's like a polyfill. So it's like a polyfill. And it's really quite good for needle felting. So generally you would use alpaca fiber, but you don't really need it for this one. So I like to get a good patch of it and just sort of going to curl it around the neck area. Just make this straight so I've got a clean base. Like so. So basically wrap it around like that. And then I got like, I like to use a single needle and just basically sort of felt it in place. So really what I do is wrap the entire armature to begin with, and then I can start building up on like the muscle tone a little bit. And I don't really make this very tight either. Because I ended up wrapping it with faux fur anyway, so I can always sort of build on that. Okay. So start that. So this works really well for needle felting too, as opposed to alpaca fiber, which is quite expensive. And generally I try not to use GG. It's hard to remember. You're always the one that says remember me. Because there's someone else that does. Yeah, I try not to use any animal products these days, especially fur. That's just never been it's always been a no-no from me. Okay, so basically just creating a solid base to build upon. Let's do the back. You know why my dolls turn out so big sometimes? It's not at all my intention half the time. Okay. So basically that pipe cleaner is for this to catch on to. So it's just a bit easier. It doesn't slip around as much. So I can sort of twirl it around and it starts to get a bit tighter. Okay, do a little bit around the legs. Again, just building on this form. And I prefer to use a single needle as well. I find it's a bit more effective for this type of felting. Because there's the armature in it, you can sort of get stuck on it with multiple needles. So the more you poke at it, the tighter it gets, basically. But you don't really need to do too much to it. It's not like traditional needle felting in a way. Okay, so lay him down and I'll do, thank you for the follow, do the leg. The legs don't need much on it. So I'm going to start with a really thin layer. It just doesn't need much. I find it, you get a better volume with a thin amount, just to cover this, you know, what do you call it? The balls, basically. Thank you for all the likes and the follows, guys. Keep it coming. Okay. I don't even know where I'm going to display this, to be honest. I've got no more room for my shelving. So I'm just going to leave it really thin like this. It's not like your traditional looking realistic wolf. So yeah, just going to leave it thin to begin with. I'll probably build up the shoulder blade a little bit. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciate it. What would you use to make like a base of it? Yeah, so basically I use a ball and socket armature. So this is what it looks like. Don't mind the pipe cleaners. It's purely for the polyfill. Doesn't offer any sort of strength, but yeah, basically that's what the inside looks like. It's ball and socket armature. So I'm needle felting the basically a form over the top of it so I can sew on some fake fur. But yeah, I did think about putting LEDs in this, but I think that's overkill. I think it's overkill. So I'm going to keep it really thin. For like the little, I don't know, what would you call it, wind looking bits, I think I might style or try styling some fake fur. I don't know how that's going to go. It might not look great. And I might try styling it with some glue just so it sort of adheres. Or maybe like, I think glue would be the best option because that would, I think if I use hairspray, it sort of breaks down a little bit. So I don't think that's going to work. And then for all the markings, I'll use an airbrush. All right, so that's one leg. One leg. Ta-da. Thank you for the follow. Let's move kitty cat here. I might just lay it down a little bit. Here. Do the other leg. Got some polyfill. So just wrap it around. So you can pull it as tight as you want, but I generally don't do a really tight body in the first place. So, yeah. This needle's on the verge of snapping, so I have to pull out another needle soon. Have I made? Oh yeah, I've made tons of bad ones. Now that I look at it, yeah, I've made tons of bad ones. Just made ones that I've hated. Made ones that customers didn't like. Like people that have commissioned something. But yeah, generally I try and be proud of everything that I've done. Like you do it all. They all mean something. You all learnt from your previous pieces as well. So yeah, try and look at it in a positive way. But yeah, definitely. I used to make them. They definitely didn't look like this when I first started. I made them sort of like a teddy bear body. And I sculpted like a clay face, basically. So they didn't have an armature or anything in it. But, you know, at the time I was super proud, and it's just a whole learning curve, isn't it? Yeah, the pet ones are hard. I find them, I've done a lot of people's pets before, and I find those ones to be the most difficult because they're obviously really attached to their pet and they know them aesthetically like the back of their hand, and I can only go by what, you know, half the time they're crappy pictures, let's be honest. So sometimes I don't get all angles, so I like to have like a side angle and a front angle so I can, you know, sculpt their face as close as possible. So yeah, things like that. There was one customer she's a repeat customer, but a particularly hard customer to deal with. But they ordered something, and then, you know, I send pictures throughout the whole process, and then by the end of it she was like, no, I don't like it. I'm like, all right, I'll just make a new one. What do you want? What exactly do you want this time? So, but the second one she was really happy with. So, you know, just things like that. But that's, you know, a rare occurrence. Sometimes you just get some difficult customers, but yeah, just try and learn to deal with it as best as possible. Especially when they're like repeat customers too, you know. But I think the problem with that one is she didn't exactly know what she wanted either. So it was just sort of going with the flow. Yeah. These things happen, don't they? Okay, so for the back, got like a little, what do you call that joint? Ankle joint, something like that. So it needs a little bit of an angling on it. And this. So I generally do like the ankle parts. Sorry. Yeah, I generally do the ankle parts. My God. Trouble coming on. Sorry. I'll continue that conversation in a second. What was I talking about? Ankle parts. Yes. So the ankle parts need to have like a little bit of an angle on it. Do I also do the prep work, removing the bits? This is fake taxidermy. It's all fake. It's not real. That's oh, thank you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not real. It's all fake. It's all polymer clay, armature, polyfill. So, yeah, it's all not real. It's all fakeodermy. Ta-da! Surprise! No, I couldn't do that. Taxidermy is a interesting art. You need a lot of talent to get it right, I think. But yeah, not for me. Not for me. I couldn't gut one and yeah, nah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I like sculpting, so yeah, you know, sculpt the heads, all that stuff. Thank you. There's a lot of similarities between taxidermy, though. So, you know, a lot of processes are very, very similar. You thought it was a real cat. Kitty. So, you know, I might just do like a kind of a modified version where, you know, they would use a foam form for the head and then, you know, sculpt in little detail. So I basically do the same sort of thing, but I sculpt the whole thing. Your uncle? Really? Where does it live now? Just for burial or? I mean, they do that. You know, with everything. They formaldehyde it and everything. But yeah, not my jam. And I don't want to deal with the bugs that come with organic things as well. In the house? Really? Are you just pulling my leg, or? I don't know that I could live with that. Okay. Right, so that's one side sort of done. You can see it's starting to take some kind of shape. So that'll be like the skeleton side and the non-skeleton side. All right. start down the bottom this time. Again, just doing a thin layer. So yeah, the tighter you pull, the more dense the polyfill is, like the form, I guess you could call it. Don't want too much here. Do you remember me? I changed my YouTube. Not Kiwi, is it? I mean, if you change your name, then I won't be able to remember you. I've had 2 people come in and say, do you remember me today? I mean, there's so many people that come in. I don't remember people at the best times. Okay. Just trying to wrap this around as best as possible. Okay. Do a little bit up here. So this is can start getting a bit thicker with this one. Oh, you were here yesterday. Thanks for coming back. I'm doing something else at the moment. I did a little bit of sewing on the Flying Fox that I was working on yesterday, so I'll try and get most of the sewing done during the week. I do ship to America. There's a little bit of a problem at the moment because of the tariff things, so a lot of postal services have been suspended from a lot of countries, which I'm sure they'll sort out soon. It's just the whole tariff fees. I don't know how much they'll be for you guys, but I can do a fox, definitely. Do I have a real cat? Yeah, I got a Burmese lady. So yeah, I'm sure most of my customer base is from the States, so that's kind of really frustrating. But yeah, I'm happy to hold it until all that's sorted, but there could be, more tariff fees. I don't know how much it will be, and I don't know what setup everybody's planning to do, like the postal services, I mean. So it's a bit frustrating. It's because your damn president is a moron. So hopefully the courts find it illegal and get rid of it because it's ridiculous. Anyway, that's my rant. What breed is my cat? She's a Burmese. She's a brown Burmese. I'm a bit impartial to Burmese. I don't think I'd ever get a different type of cat. They're just, I really like their personalities. Yeah, I know. yeah, it's hard. Like all of our postal services have been suspended, so I didn't even know if it would make it there, even if I shipped it as a gift. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they're all fake cats. I like cats. What do you expect? How can you not? But yeah, hopefully it all gets sorted soon. It just, just means it's more expensive for the consumer, which I don't think people really understood. It just gets pushed back onto the consumer. Orange cat. I'm making an orange cat next. Anyway, he's the big cat. He's a look at the poopy cat. And white paws, cute. This one, people were asking this one to be orange, but I wasn't feeling the orange vibe. But I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna do like a Garfield inspired orange cat, like a grumpy orange cat. And I thought maybe I'll make a lasagna, like a clay lasagna to go with it. I think that's a good idea. This is a Persian. Too fluffy for me. Too much brushing. They are cute though. I'll be too worried they'll get matted. I don't think I'd ever get a fluffy cat. I don't know where she is. I think she might be nesting somewhere. I'm not sure where she is. She was around before, but I don't know where she is. Around somewhere. Find some sort of warm spot. Gotta love them, right? You love them enough to put up with their abuse. Thank you for the follow. Oh, really? How do you do that? Like, I mean, process-wise, it looks so cool. I've never looked into it, but it looks cool. A month of chemicals. Jeez. How do you even, who came up with that? Who came up with that? Surely it was a chemist or something. Oh, yeah. I mean, at least you can, I don't know. I'm assuming it changed chemicals within the month, or does it just sit in the chemical for a month? I've never actually, jumped into Google to read how to do it. Every 5 days. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I just sculpt stuff. Okay. I'll mangle this armature, so let's get it all back to such a big one. Right, so that's, you sort of see a base sort of structure, don't think the neck is too long. I can always pop it off if I'm not happy with it. Yeah, and then obviously the reflector's going to sit here. So, and I'll do the fire. I'll sculpt that separately. No, it's fake. Fakeodermy. All fake. So, yeah, been working on a grey-headed flying fox as well. So that's sort of the next stage, which is the sewing stage. So, the wings are posable as well. So, yeah, it's all fakeodermy. But, yay! Can I 3D print you anything? I don't know. Like what? You know what I should do? I should get it. I've been meaning to, looking into getting one. I should have 3D printed the reflector. Oh, thank you. Faces. I like sculpting. That's sort of why I do it. I used to do a lot of resin casting, but I sort of went back to sculpting each face just because I'm a sculptor, basically, and I like sculpting things. So, yeah, I can make your cat. I can take a commission. So basically, I sculpted out of polymer clay. So I'll show you a bit of a complex one. This is an elephant that I'm working on for someone. You love resin. I have a love-hate relationship with resin, I have to say. So this is a baby Asian elephant that I'm doing for someone. Obviously, it's going to have a posable trunk, and and it's going to have ears as well that are sort of posable. So this will be the structure of the ear. Wrongly. So it'll sort of sit in these little holes. I'll attach it properly, but you get, the ear like this. I know it's weird, right? People said it looked like a walrus, which I can see. Flex clay, yeah. I've got Cos clay as well, but I find I'm not happy with the way it's flexible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it out of fabric, basically. So I've got like this fake. It's kind of like leather, but it looks like elephant skin. And I'm going to sort of attach it. I've made like a little shelf in here so I can sort of attach it underneath. And then, yeah, it'll be flexible. So, yeah, I've made a lot of lizards. Not a lot of lizards, but I could show you a lizard that I'm sort of going by the same process. This is one of my medieval cats that I'm making. So this is Chameleon that I made. But yeah, so the body is a cotton fabric. I did all the scale work on it. Meow. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not into electronics, though. But yeah, it can be posed and everything. But yeah, the head is sculpted polymer clay. And yeah, I mean, this is as much posability as you can get with a chameleon, right? I made the legs kind of posable as well. The feet, just really gently. But yes, I did a snake for Chinese New Year, like that zodiac. But I'm wanting to do a rattlesnake. I'm just sort of trying to go over how I'm going to do the scales, which I have an idea that I need to try. What is my opinion about getting taxidermy out of their pet? I wouldn't do it. I find it weird, but, if that's helps their grieving process, I guess. So for the scales, so the one that I did, I found some fabric that had like a snake pattern on it. It was gold though. I did a gold and red one, so it was kind of a fantasy type one. But for the what do you call it? The rattlesnake that I want to do. I want to try cutting out the scales with a cricket with what do you call it? Like a foam. I don't know. Oh, whoops! Quick, clean it up. Yeah, I'm thinking of cutting each scale out with a cricket. Zoom in the chameleon. There's the scales. So I did all of these individually. And I sculpted these. So these, I picked the chameleon because their scales were sort of like dots. But yeah, it feels really nice. Yeah, and all of these little ones are polymer clay. I did the nails out of a latex, so they're not so fragile. So they're not going to break. Yeah, so that's my chameleon. Would be great. I could show you. I made another reptile. I'll show you. I just sort of finished this one not too long ago, but it's a Gila monster. You're doing riddles? Riddles. You know what that means. So yeah, this one's did the same sort of deal with this one. It's the face. My favorite. I think I like the poopy cat. I think I like this one. I think I like this one. I don't know, there's something about it. I think it's the colour and the face and just the whole idea. I think it's this one. I really like it. It'll be sad when it goes. I can't keep them all. But yeah. This one turned out really good though. Yeah. So I've been trying to add more reptiles. I'm also doing a... this is the next reptile I'm going to be doing. So it's going to be a little leopard. Hello. So you probably, depending on what it is, you'd be looking at around 8. But I do offer payment plans as well. So this one's going to be a little leopard gecko. So I just sort of finished the sculpting. It still needs to be baked. That's basically what the head looks like before anything happens to it. So yeah, I finished all the scale work on it before. And I do need to sculpt the feet for it. I don't know if you can quite see the eyes, but they're also handmade. So cute. That's my next reptile. Because who doesn't like geckos? Anyway. A 13-inch. How big's 13-inch? Sorry, I don't know inches. Let me Google how big the inch is. Yeah, 30 centimeters. Yeah, I can do that. Absolutely. Yeah, the last snake that I did was probably 2.5 meters, 13 inches. It says 30 centimeters. 13 inches says it's 30 centimeters. What? I don't know, mate. Anyway, yes. Well, I can do... Oh, feet. Feet. 13 feet's 3.9 meters. That's super long. fake taxidermy. Fakeodermy. Exactly what it sounds like. Fake taxidermy. Ta-da! Polymer clay and fabric, basically. Yeah, what type of snake is it? Burmese. I mean, it's not going to be cheap. A reticulated python. Yeah, it'd be cool. The cat. Kitty. This is the pooping one. But I am Australian, yes. I'm from Melbourne. Melbs. They can be posed. That's the difference between taxidermy. Yeah. I mean, something that big's probably not going to be cheap, so just bear that in mind. But I can't see why I can't do it. I've got bigger armatures, and if we need to go a really big armature, I've got this size, which is huge. Which I think I'm going to use this armature to fix my Drogon that I made, because that's a big doll. So I reckon, yeah, I'll have to use something this size for him, because I'm going to redo the body on that one. But yeah, you're from Queensland. Nice. Get a lot of Queenslanders coming. Heaps of Queenslanders and heaps of Adelaide, I think. You changed it. Yeah, I think they only let you do it every now and again. So work me a quote, 10 foot. I mean, snakes are pretty simple. Did you want Australian dollars or US? It's just the fabric. 3 meters. I reckon probably 600 US plus the shipping. Which I think, what does that equal? Let me Google. So it's about 917 Australian. 600 is 917 Australian. I made a yawning cat. So halfway there. Yeah, plus the shipping, but did you say you were in Queensland? Which one was Queensland? No. Are you in the States? Thanks for the follow. Thanks, super cute, thanks. If you're in the States, just be aware that they have suspended shipping until they work out the whole tariff thing, and, you know, what the best way to pay the tariff is, and I don't know how much that's going to be. Atlanta, yeah. So the elephant that I'm working on, that's going to the States too. That's going to Columbus, I think. So, yeah, the person, she's a repeat buyer, so she understands what's going on. I know. So, yeah, there's a lot of countries that have suspended their shipping to the States for the moment because nothing was organised, of course. It was just done. So, yeah, I don't know what that's going to look like, but in the meantime, I still can make things. I just have to babysit them and, yeah, let you know what happens with the tariffs. I think our postal service is trying to include it so you don't get charged when it gets to you. I think that's what they're trying to do. So obviously it's just going to increase the shipping. I don't know. It's so stupid. Isn't it the stupidest thing I've ever heard? Can I just grab an Airbnb? It would probably be cheaper. Probably be cheaper. Oh, jeez. So I think they're still doing courier mail, so like FedEx and stuff. And I Googled the price of that, and it is $200 to send it to the States. $200, and that's not even including the fee. So, but I normally send. I know there was a couple of states that would get like a tax. So I can't remember which states it was, but I know people had asked me to keep it under a certain amount. Otherwise, I'd get like a tax. And I usually mark it as a gift, so it would avoid those taxes. Anyway, well, I think that's going to be me for today. But I will be back on Thursday to do more stuff. But during the week, I'll try and get like the boring parts out the way so I can do some more exciting things on live. So yeah, we'll see. I'll see what happens. But anyway, Gila Monster and Kitty Cat. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Send me a message if you are interested. And yeah, I'll do some more work and see you on Thursday. So a bit of a break because I've got work. So YouTube, I will catch you later.